Hello and welcome to another session of Basic Digital Marketing. Last time we talked about search engine marketing, and this time we'll talk about another kind of online digital advertising tool which is called display advertising or banner ads. Now, truth be told, display advertising evokes a certain kind of negative image. It has a pretty bad reputation because it is widely perceived as something that is very static, banal, and boring to grab attention. That's why in recent times, pop-up ads is increasing in popularity. Now, pop-up is a very specific kind of advertisement where the ad kind of magically pops up out of nowhere and blocks your browser experience, so forces you to take some kind of action. Now, for obvious reasons, pop-ups have higher click-through rate because it kind of forces your hand. But in principle, a pop-up is closer towards the more intrusive traditional advertising rather than the more permission-based engaging digital advertising. Now, in recent years, digital display advertising has actually come a long way. Nowadays, as you'll see in the screen, display advertising actually can be very engaging, colorful, impactful, and dynamic. An effective display advertising has quite a few characteristics in common. Firstly, an effective display advertising is usually very promotional offer driven. It invokes a kind of action, and thirdly, it uses graphics in a very clever and engaging way. And also in recent times, a lot of innovations are taking place in the display advertising. One very specific kind of innovation is known as native ads. Now, a native ad is like the kind of advertisement which is so well integrated with your website that instead of coming as a promotional link separately, it kind of becomes part of the website itself. Now, if you are aware of, as you'll see in the screen, of something called Facebook promoted stories, you have a first-hand experience of what native advertisement is all about. Native has some very good benefits of its own. It has higher credibility, higher viewership, and higher conversion. Now, last time we talked about search engine marketing or SEM, and today we talked about display advertising. So a very important question to answer is, when do we use SEM and when do we use display advertising? Now, they're both paid advertising models. Obviously, you need money to do them both, but there are some unique characteristics that makes them different from one another. For example, SEM is usually text-based advertising, and obviously it appears primarily in the search engine page itself. Display advertising, on the other hand, is graphics-based to grab more attention, and it can appear both in other publishers' website as well as on the search engine page. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. The real difference between SEM and display advertising is they serve a very different purpose to reach a very different audience. If you want to reach an audience who are already looking or thinking about buying your product or looking for your category, then SEM is more relevant to you. On the other hand, through display advertising, you can actually target a group of people who are not looking for your product or category actively right now. So in a way, it serves to boost your scope of awareness of your product or your category itself. Now, before we close the discussion on online advertising tool, there is one concept we need to understand, which is called retargeting or remarketing. Now, data tells us that only 2% of the traffic actually converts when they visit your website for the first time, which basically means that a lot of people come to your website, they land on your homepage or other landing page, and immediately after browsing just one page, they vanish like that and they go away. Now, this phenomenon is called bounce rate or bouncing, and it's actually pretty annoying. A high bounce rate is a very big headache for all the website publishers because they spend so much money and effort to bring the traffic in the website only to see them leave after just visiting one or two pages. Now, a long-term strategy or solution to solve bounce rate is actually to increase the quality and the content itself of your website. But a short-term tactic that you can adopt is what we call a retargeting or remarketing, where you target specifically those people who came and left abruptly after visiting one or two pages and do specific campaigns to bring them back. For example, it can range to something as simple as just reminding them that they have been missed, they are not being in the website for a long time, so please ask them to come back. Or it can be something very promotional, specific, offer driven, so that they have incentive to come to the website again, and this time with better job you can convert them. So that kind of concludes our discussion on paid and unpaid digital advertising models. Next time we'll start discussing about another hot button topic, which is data analytics. So until then, goodbye for now.